It's okay. 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 See, we're okay. Hey guys, it's Merrick, and I've got another gameplay commentary for you here today. In this one, we are on TR using the NS15. I'm running the NS15 with suppressor and high velocity ammo, which will lower the damage range a little bit, but I'm also running sensor shield. Everything else is pretty much standard for me. So with that out of the way, let's jump right into it. We're starting this session off at Coramed Labs, and I shift W out of spawn and see absolutely nothing until suddenly there's two maxes looking out of a doorway at me. I put some damage on him, and I try to get a follow-up with the decimator, but I miss, and I try to figure out how I'm going to get value out of this, because this doesn't look like a push that I can really take right now. So I toss an anti-vehicle nade, and then just keep trying to put damage in, because they're not being repaired. That's pretty much all I can do. Somebody jumps off the roof, I can't get my heal and gun up, so I just take a free death, and have to run all the way back. I try to pick someone off through the doorway, I fail, the mech starts shooting at me, and when I return with the decimator to try to punish him, the light assault steps in front of him and saves him from the shot, unfortunately. I hear an infiltrator noise I want to react to, but someone peeks me on the right and the roof at the same time. Because everybody decided to shoot at me all at once, there's not much I can do, and I just fall over. Despite the strong hold they had on point, they were actually back capped, and it looks like most of them vacated to go clear that back cap, as we managed to sneak onto point and accidentally flank a max. I managed to get the trade, but had I played that better and just thrown the nade from the top of the stairs and hit him, I would have been able to get the kill just cleanly without having to trade myself out. After that, I run back onto point, run past a grenade that I thought would have made it all the way down the stairs, but instead rolled 2 feet behind me and stopped. Leaving spawn after that, I wind up running into somebody shooting me out of spawn off of the side railing, so I decided to chase him down.
Got them on their heels.
With that sorted out, I head back to the front, where there's more shooting and thunder is pulling up. I see this thunder on my left, and right as I go to get rid of it, someone jumps over the right, I panic, almost throw the nade at him, manage to get it thrown in the right direction, and thankfully am able to win the fight still. I get a little overzealous, and I jump up to see the other Sunderer before I get distracted by a light assault, and I almost die to the guns of the Sunderer. But once I survive that, I rotate around a little bit, can't find a better angle, and have to return to this side to try to get some peeks and clear out the Sunderer. I manage to catch a guy off guard the instant I turn. I see a max in the distance, but I don't keep shooting him because I'm afraid someone's going to swing the rock on me. And somebody actually does swing the rock on my teammate, and I'm able to get the clean up there too. I feel like if I go close, I'm just going to get killed by somebody spawning, so I try to jump up and toss a decimator over, but as I jump the first time, the shield comes back up, so I try to be cheeky and shoot the gun, forgetting that they have no hitbox because good reasons. I mean, that makes perfect sense. Who could argue with such good reasons? After not pushing up to the first Sunderer because I was worried about getting swung on, my position is compromised by another Sunderer, and I make an incredibly impulsive decision to just push this Sunderer and try to get the swing before they get set up and push on me. I followed it up by getting 2 tenths, pressing my knife button by accident, denying me a kill, and then I managed to actually get the swing on these guys yet again. I don't know why none of them were ready for me, but they have a max and a Sunderer that were very unhappy with my presence. I swing the rock to try to go around, and I run into somebody who's not too happy to see me. I try to double back, and there's a max, so I do the only thing that I can do, and I go up and try to get rid of this max. I hit the max, manage to take it out, and then regaining some semblance of sanity, back up to some point of cover. None of those were the highest percentage plays, but they managed to work out. What I should have done is hold my advantageous cover position, kill people as they push these rocks through that open ground, and throw decimators at the Sunderer until it went away, all without exposing myself unnecessarily. But, as you can see, I'm already pressing Shift W yet again. And if this wasn't even the worst, I managed to get away with this. Back up, reload, and try a third time because I'm fucking stupid. Thankfully, third time's the charm, and I actually get punished for making bad decisions. All of that was completely unnecessary. I got away with way more than I should have in the first place, and I just kept pushing my luck because I make bad decisions. There was never a mental reset to stop me, and thankfully I finally fucking died so I can start thinking again. Even though it worked out to some extent, that was an obvious example of a situation that could have been much better for me and I could have gotten much more out of if I just played it properly and kept my cool. Ape energy is essential for making aggressive plays, but sometimes you need to know when to keep your cool and when not to return to monkey. Playing more defensively, I'm only able to pick up that 1 kill before the tanks sweep by and push them out, and as I'm chasing this guy down in the minimap, I get to clear out the beacon he places, and it looks like this fight's actually over. As I go to redeploy, there's actually a galaxy and multiple Valk drop on the building, so I make my way back over and try to push in. I took the cubby because I thought there's going to be pressure coming from inside of the building, but it's actually coming from outside. I take a lot of damage dealing with this first guy, and I try to get an emergency fast heal off, but the guy behind him follows up too quickly, and I die for free. Coming out of spawn, I have to push back into A point, so I'm slowly peeking these angles, trying to get somebody to peek into me, because it looks like there's a lot of pressure inside. When I don't see anything, I just push in and run to the staircase to try to get any flank that I can. I see someone coming in one of the side doors, but I catch a shotgun and don't really get to play the game. As I run up again, I see someone on the roof and try to engage on him. He gets away from me. I manage to get the pickup on this Max, and after being briefly disoriented by a voice line I didn't instantly recognize, I push back onto the first floor and I try to get something done here. I've managed to whiff a bunch of shots, and I can't pick up too much before I step on a nade that I never saw, and have to come back yet again. This time with significantly more defenders from the first floor. I put some damage into this Max, and then I push up to the door to try to peek an angle and see if I can't get any pickoffs. I'm able to catch one on a tight angle, and then as I try to swing deeper into the room, someone's actually on the left side still. They lob a C4 out. It doesn't murder me, but it takes all of my health, and I die instantly when I was trying to take the fight. I managed to take a res and make it out of the doorway, but as I turn around to try to re-engage, there's a lot of pressure coming from the exact opposite corner of the building. I can't really get a good angle on them between the fact that they're not peeking me all the time and my allies are stepping out in front of me, so I'm just trying to put the pressure down that I can, and when it seems to thin out, I try to peek this doorway yet again, only to see there's actually more of them pushing that corner as well. So I see more people coming around that far corner, but I still have to prioritize this close angle because only way we're going to be making any footing here is if we thin these people out and eventually can get some kind of progress. I extend my distance from this close angle so that I'm safer from that far corner and can still get good engagements here. I get in a fight with a gunner, but I don't manage to take him out because he's got some friends. Thankfully I'm able to live, and then I dance around trying to survive and get something done on this angle. At this point, the only thing that would really breach that point room would be an organized, coordinated push. So far, the TR here have shown no semblance of organization because it's just a bunch of randoms. There's no outfits really supporting it, and that's fine. But that means that I really am not going to be getting much done sitting here fighting at this doorway. I'm pretty much fighting for kills, but I think the better play would actually have been to rotate off and rotate around. I could have jumped up where that Sunder was previously, but instead I continue aping here, tunnel visioning, and trying to get kills. I'm pushing really hard trying to get kills, and it's no surprise that I don't see somebody dropping a C4. But the point is completely lost, so we head somewhere else. I wind up making a brief stop at Mao Southwest Gate because as soon as I get out and run towards the point, they're actually being completely pushed back. I get a brief engagement where I get someone on the roof and catch another one by looking at the minimap, but by the time I clear those guys out, the rest of them have been pushed out of the base, there are already lightnings moving to clean up the tanks, and so I just head somewhere else. Thankfully, there's a 50-50 fight at Dahaka Southern Post. And as I get there, it seems like Red has applied enough pressure that it actually isn't suicide to peek through these doorways. Looking at the minimap, it looks like most of the population is up between 50s and dubs on the second floor, and these people aren't immediately falling over as they peek, and when I peek myself, I can also confirm that there are people on the stairway, but it's not enough pressure that it's oppressive. So I decide to wrap around to door 2 and get a better angle on the fight. We have people peeking all 3 of these doors down here, and it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of purple at the top of those stairs, so it's very easy to start clearing that out. And inadvertently, that puts us in a good spot because they're going to have to start collapsing onto point as the timer ticks down, and that puts us in a perfect spot to punch them for doing so if this nade wasn't mailed directly to me. When I get back, I assume the situation's the exact same, so even though I see a lasher, I peek out to kill the guy, thinking it's just going to be one. I managed to get the kill, but there's a lot more people at the top of those stairs than I thought, so I wrap back around to a superior angle, and it's about time that the red are collapsing onto point, so this puts me in a good position to punish people. If only I had hands. I throw an anti-vehicle nade trying to get rid of the hard light barrier, and I accidentally get a kill, and then as I push back in here, I start looking onto point and trying to clear that out. I stand a little too far from the angle to actually be able to get back into cover, and I'm only able to trade myself out for a few, but I do get rezzed, I am able to get another one, and before I can finish reloading as I rotate out of the building here, the fight completely ends, but they did manage to get the cap, so now we are on the defensive. I do the completely unpredictable thing, and I try to peek people as they're running up to the doorway. I'm able to pick off one, but as I peek for a second one, I try to take a long fight when I know someone is close on the doorway, and unsurprisingly, he swings and finishes me off. I stand up already flashed, and by the time my vision returns to me, I see that there's a push coming in through dubs, and I try to set up the help hold it. By the time I get in a position to actually start shooting, it seems like most of them have actually been cleared out, but I back off and reload and go for a second peek because it looks like there's a ton of them on the minimap still, and as I'm going I accidentally finger my cheats and I have to snap onto this guy. What actually happened was I saw his feet, didn't realize it, turned the corner, realized it, panicked, almost murdered my teammate, and then still didn't get the kill anyway. As I turn back around, the push is continuing and they even threw a resonade, so I start to sort that out while trying to keep track of my ammunition. It's better to keep peeking on and off rather than to be standing out there in the open, and as soon as I decide to take an extended fight and stay out there for too long, I immediately die and have to take another spawn rather than a good position that I had. Seeing a bunch of maxes on the minimap, I assume that push is going to clear out the point room, and instead I head over to Dahaka uplink. I'm able to catch a bunch of stragglers as they push along the side, but I only manage to hit one before I shoot a bunch of bullets and make myself sad, and have to rotate around inside. Oh, also, I didn't like resing as the most flashed man alive, so I swapped to Ocular Shield. Once inside, I'm greeted with tanks trying to peek the doorway and spam on the point, so I take the occasional decimator shot while I'm waiting for their infantry to group up and try to push in. None of them have really been peeking, so I try to see if I can't catch the first one that does with the decimator, and I eat a flashbang for my troubles. Thankfully though, I had Ocular Shield because I was tired of this shit earlier, and it works out because I'm able to catch another one as he comes in the door expecting me to be flashed. Or maybe he was ungrouped and just randomly ran in. But it sounds better if he knew I was flashed and tried to peek that way, right? I spend some time dancing around with the dots on the minimap trying to catch one of them as they peek, but it eventually turns out that it doesn't seem like Purple's really going to be pushing up, and eventually we start pushing out from the point. I'm able to pick up a few more people out here, which brings this video to a close with 53 kills in 22 minutes. I got away with things that shouldn't have worked a few times in this video, so I'm very glad that I was also able to give suggestions in certain areas about what would have been a better play. I hope those are actually helpful or beneficial, because I couldn't spend a whole lot of time on them due to the length and pace of the video. But as always, let me know what you do like, let me know what you don't like, let me know what you think, so I can improve these videos moving forwards. Thank you guys for your continued support, and I'll see you next time.